Mi primera pregunta es, termina Howard la película con Burroughs caminando al final junto a la valla, pero tú cierras dando vueltas y bailando. ¿Por qué esos dos cierres? ¿Pensabas cerrarlo como tu tío la película de Burroughs o cómo pensabas cerrar la película, el documental?
So what was your idea? I mean, why did you choose, or why close the movie like that? Is that the way you wanted to close the movie?
Well, when I was finding the different pieces, and I found that piece of video diary, I said, this was early, I said, this is the end of the movie. I don't know, it's just right. The light coming in, you know, the kind of sunset, the music, the way it sounded, it's kind of echoey, reverberating in the large loft. Howard dancing, it's full of all the right emotion to end Howard's story. So I didn't know how I was going to arrive at that point, but I knew that that just felt that had to be the end.
Hay algo en la película que me encantó y es...
There's something I loved in the movie.
A ver, aquí. ¿Puedes conocer a alguien y los intereses que tiene basándote en las preguntas que se le hace?
Can you get to know somebody based on the questions that are asked to them?
¿Y te hiciste las mismas preguntas al principio que al final, al terminar el documental? ¿Las
Did you
cambiaste?
have the same questions at the beginning and at the end of the movie? You know, after having gone through the process.
Yes, well, the first question, yes, you can. It was really illuminating to, actually, before I got my hands on the footage from the bunker, for example, I had the safety sound rolls, quarter-inch tapes, which I had transferred, so I could hear the whole chapter from 78 to 83 of Howard working with Burroughs, and absolutely I could hear how he worked with his crew, I could hear how he worked with William, how he got his ideas across, how he would kind of lead people, and also, yes, the questions that he would ask him. When you get to sit down in front of a William Burroughs or an Allen Ginsberg or an Andy Warhol, you know, what you say is very important, and absolutely I could learn a lot about Howard from that. And then to your second question, well, yes, in the beginning I had so many questions about who Howard was, what he did, and how he did things. And many of them absolutely got answered by being able to see him in the film, in the video, and hear him. And it was really like a way to, I don't know, be with Howard and it wasn't a discussion, but it would almost feel like a discussion about filmmaking, how you can do a documentary with William Burroughs, and also how you would work with an actor like Madonna or Matt Dillon, because he videotaped that as well, which was just a great, you know, gift to be able to drop in on that.
Howard tardó 5 años, siguió a Burroughs por muchos lugares. Tú también sigues la figura de Howard por muchos lugares, pero ¿qué lugares te quedaron por ir, por descubrir? Y si una segunda parte o algo, o recordar la figura de Howard en los cines, porque aquí en España no se le conoce mucho, ¿qué tienes pensado? ¿Cómo lo ves?
So what is left, sort of thing? You know, what places did you not have the chance to go to? Because, you know, the same way he went sort of with Burroughs, after 5 years he visited many places, and so did you. Was there any place that's left to visit, or because people here don't know him very much? So is there like a second part, or is there something else
That I want to go to? I want to go to Japan. I haven't been to Japan yet. I would like to do that. Howard, yeah, his trip to Japan sounds very interesting, and I'm keen to go there. Burroughs went there, and Uncle Howard is being distributed in Japan, so that would be fun.
¿Dónde dejarías Ángel Howard la película? Porque tu tío lo dejó en un búnker, pero ¿dónde te gustaría guardar todo lo que has grabado en tu película? ¿En un búnker? ¿En qué sitio especial te gustaría escoger?
What special place would you leave your film in? You know, he left all his work in the bunker. Do you have a special place where you would like to leave what you recorded of it?
That's a complicated question. Yes, I would. I mean, right now it's in a storage unit in New York, and I'm talking to different archives in the U.S. and I would like all of his work to be in one place because there's still a lot to do. The archive is massive and it's so interesting and so valuable. There's still so much that I want to do with it that should be done with it, but I also want to make it available to people after being locked away for so long that, you know, I feel like it should be accessed and learned from. So I'm trying to place it in the right institution in New York, but there's a very interesting dichotomy, if you will, between film preservation and film distribution. And film archives, their job is to archive something. And the minute you put something out, you are jeopardizing that archive. So I'm trying to find the right place that can protect the physical elements of the film, of the video, but can also work with us to make it available in the same sense. So it's a lot of things in one that I want to find the right home for.
Cuando murió Howard querías recuperar trozos, las mirabas, pero ¿estabas preparado para ver todo lo que él grabó, recuperar todo lo que él hizo?
So, you know, when he died, you know, he left a lot behind, but were you ready to meet all this work that he did?
I'm glad I had no idea how much work there would be involved when I started it, because I probably would have thought twice about it. I mean, I was in it already, and it was like, well, no one else is going to do this, so I guess I have to do it. There's no choice in the matter. It was a real labor of love, not just by me, by, you know, a lot of people also threw themselves into recovering this work by Howard, because we understood that time is of the essence, that it must be done. But it was very complicated. I mean, from the time that the film cans leave the bunker to the time that I actually have everything in front of me synced up to edit from is almost 2 years. Because the process of fundraising to digitize it, then once you digitize it, to sync it all and put it all together was extraordinarily complex. And that was just one element, you know, of the archive and of the journey, really.
Hay una frase que mientras veía la película apunté porque me encantó, es: vamos a la ciudad sin más, guiándonos solo por nuestro instinto, que ya veremos cómo volvemos. ¿De dónde surgió?
A sentence that I loved, which is going to the city, you know, for no purpose. ¿Cómo era la frase?
Guiándonos solo por nuestros instintos, que ya veremos cómo volvemos.
And we'll see how we get back. I think it's when they're in Japan.
Oh yeah, Jim says
yeah, you know.
I love this.
This sentence.
That's very interesting. That's very... that's what Jarmusch said in the film, and that's a very, very important sentiment, because there was a real feeling that they had of losing yourself and getting lost is a good thing, you know, because you end up creating new ideas and finding new solutions to find your way back or find your way to a new place. And it also speaks to the idea of being very present where you are and being very open to the world around you. And that was something that Jim certainly adheres to and lives by, and that Howard really embodied. I mean, wherever he went, he was there, and whoever he was with, he was really present in that space. And I think that's a very essential, a very key ingredient for anybody, but in particular, you know, a creative mind.
¿Qué qué ciudad te gustaría perderte o te perdiste para encontrarte a ti mismo, encontrar inspiración que a lo mejor habías perdido?
So which city would you like to get lost in, to maybe find inspiration, or maybe did you get lost in, to find inspiration?
I get lost everywhere on purpose. I mean, I still can get lost in New York if you... I mean, it's about shutting off, which is hard to do with a phone or whatever, but, I last time I was in New York, I, was in Harlem on the subway, and I walked around till very late at night, and the things you hear and the things you see are still all there. It's just about you. So it's easier maybe in Japan in the 1980s when there really is nothing and no information, but you can do that anywhere. In fact, it was very interesting. One of the William Burroughs pieces I found is William Burroughs talking about an exercise he used to do called the walking exercise. And the walking exercise was you go, walk around the block, go back to your desk and write down everything that you saw, but also everything that you thought of when you saw it. And it's that kind of walking exercise mentality really that we're talking about.
No sé si lo habrás hecho, pero me gustaría preguntarte, ¿vas a hacer alguna exposición o algo con todas las fotos, con todo el material que encontraste de tu tío y no solo en Estados Unidos, sino a lo mejor fuera de Estados Unidos?
I don't know if you've done it, but have you planned, or are you planning to have like an exhibition with all the photos and photographies and everything, not just in New York, but all over the place?
Yes, we are. I'm creating a show with a gallery in London to start with, which is installation work just of that, and creating these very beautiful lenticular pieces from some of the archive. And I want to create a Nova Convention show, in a sense, because the footage that Howard shot of that is the only thing that exists. And to create a kind of immersive experience where you can kind of re-experience the Nova Convention by going into that space. And yes, there's many things I want to do with the archive and create. So we're starting piece by piece, and hopefully it'll grow and travel as well.
Si la película de Uncle Howard fuese una fotografía o una imagen fija, ¿cuál sería para ti?
So if the movie was just one still image, one photograph, what would be the image that would define the movie?
What defines Uncle Howard?
¿La película
Sí,
o él
Uncle
mismo,
Howard.
o la persona?
Uncle Howard.
You need all the images. I don't know. I can't think of one single image. I mean, I think when you need the whole experience of the journey, but I think as we talked about the end, I think if you look in that space, you can find many of the images that encapsulate Howard. You have New York in the window. For me, it's that sequence. I can't think of one specific image. Sorry.
¿Cómo fue unir, porque en el documental vemos imágenes de su vida cuando era pequeño, de su familia, y la imagen de Howard y su carrera y cómo seguía Burroughs? ¿Cómo fue unir esas dos facetas? La vida, digamos, la personal y la del trabajo,
like connecting the two sort of sides of the movie. On the one hand, the family footage, you as a kid, and then his professional life and his Burroughs project. So what was it like connecting those two worlds?
Yeah, well, it was about finding the meeting point. I mean, fortunately, we have to remember the home movies, the home footage was shot by Howard. So it was still with his eye and still with his filmmaker's eye. There was a reason that he was shooting this in this particular moment, in this particular way. And it was finding these points of intersection where that could perfect mix, essentially. And I looked at that as also how I was going to film present day footage. So I didn't want it to be jarring. I wanted it to kind of work together. So it was keeping a sort of softer HD approach, if you will, and finding these kind of moments where it's about kind of discovery, if you will, where they intersect.